nonsense. Hey, bitch, get closer to the front. Confused as to who she was?
Why isn't it taking pictures?
It took one look to dispel the cage. Their eyes met, and it dissolved his rage. It took 13 steps across the linoleum tile, during which he was nervous as a dead man walking the Green Mile. It took 4 minutes of casual conversation until her and this young man were dating. It took that one yes to dispel all the hate. This boy felt life. She threw it away. Dispensing with the trashy baggage unwanted, now he was free. And man, did he flaunt it. It took one date and then he had it bad. With her at his arms, he couldn't be mad. He left his knife and chain at home and no longer voiced contempt for society's drones. It took one girl and he was in la-la land. He felt like flying when he had her hand. It took one feel and his wardrobe changed. The love made his life positively rearrange. It took 3 months and his music switched. The words became nicer and softened the riffs. By month 9, he had done a total 180, and she figured she didn't like him lately. It took 297 days for her to realize that he wasn't the same, and she liked the old guy. She wanted the bad boy that he once was, didn't like what happened because of her love. It took 2 days more for her to confess this. She liked him more when he was dangerous. It took one conversation, and it was over for good. It disappointed a boy who was told it never would. It took just 4 minutes, and the anger returned. She left him pathetically broken, and a new hate burned. Fast forward 10 hours, and he's back at home. Thoughts brewing in his room. He was a madman alone. It took 2 hours of thought-filled weeping until he roared in anger. And off the bed leaving, it took 0.9 seconds for the poster rip, Springsteen's in the trash, and he's back to the old mix. It took just half a day, and now the bad boy was back. Society once again a menace for him to attack. It took just 3 days before school came back, and in the meantime his wardrobe went back to black. It took 2 periods till he saw her again, busily chatting up one of her friends. It took one look to make her grin wide. She walked over to him, not knowing that inside it took one conversation for this boy to see the shallow facets of her lacking personality. She wanted someone who would make her dad yell and expected his anger to stay just as well. It took 13 steps, and she was talking sweet. He got angry, got onto his feet. It took 7 seconds for everybody to look at the furious young man who was flying off the hook. It took 1 minute for tears to fall down her face, and yet the words failed to really penetrate. He was mad for 9 months of using him for what he was, his love she was abusing. It took 1 minute till Miss Wortham came back to make them stop berating and retreat the attack. It took 2 seconds to get back to his desk, and bitter hate grew as they started to test. It took one relationship to take him up high just to have it ruined by a woman's lie. It took 5 hours for school to end, and then he turned down hanging with some of his friends. It took 10 minutes for him to walk home, and he ran up into his bed all alone. It took 30 seconds to take the gun out from under the bed, and then contemplate life as he put it to his head. Anger became bitterness, and bitterness hate, which became hurt and sadness as he pondered his fate. A confused teen, he felt resentment stack, up as he pulled the hammer back. He mentally stacked up facts and figures as a shaking index pulled the trigger. It took 1 minute while he was in the John one day for the girl who heard him to throw the bullets away. It took 1 instant as he recollected all the reasons for not having his brains ejected. It took 3 seconds to toss the gun in the trash as the hate that he once had melted off fast. Springsteen returned, as did the poetry on the shelf. It took 18 years for him to learn he only needs to love himself. Thank you.